Hello and welcome to Season 3.
Season 3.
Of the Parenting Tools podcast. My name is Jordan.
And my name is Jason. This is the podcast where the parenting tools, as in we are tools, we do not give tips or advice. We try to, but they're terrible.
No.
But this is a podcast where we talk about our lives as dads to young children.
And everything that goes with it.
Including the wanting to cry whilst hiding in the bathroom.
I had to put the windows down on the way here in the car. Do you know that kind of...
Just so tired.
Yeah. And I left my house at 3 minutes past 5.
Sweet, I'm so tired. Sweet, I'm so tired. You see me this way. I'm sick and then I'm...
Season 3, what does that even mean?
It means we've had a little break and we're trying to justify it by calling it a new season.
If you can hear my child in the background during this episode, it's because I have moved house.
Yeah, boy.
And the staircase goes over the garage.
Yep.
And my daughter is mid-meltdown.
Mid-meltdown.
Three-nager meltdown.
Goodness me.
So Jordan, Season 3 of the Parenting Tools podcast.
Season 3. If you are still with us from Season 1, you know how to follow us already.
OGs.
The OGs, shout out. If you are fairly new to these parts, you can find us at Parenting Tools Pod on Instagram and TikTok. And if you didn't hear last time, we're doing a live show at IKEA.
Live show at IKEA.
So if you want to get involved, head over to parentingtools.co.uk/IKEA.
And it's free.
It is free.
It's a free event.
Free tickets.
I'm actually a little bit like, it feels like a dream. It feels really strange and weird that this is happening.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're starting at 6, but don't worry. If you're thinking, I finish work at 5, might not get there for 6, don't worry. We'll be heading on about 6:30 to kick off the pod recording. If you're late, you're late. Don't worry about it.
You've got kids. So this is like a pre-register for tickets, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just so we know what's going on. There is a possibility, I hear, the IKEA creche will be open as well.
We're waiting for confirmation.
We are waiting for confirmation.
We are indeed. But
So
we'll let you know.
That's just a false rumour.
But yeah, parentingtools.co.uk/IKEA to register your interest.
So what's been happening then, Jord?
What has been happening? My wife is a nutter. That's what's been happening. And if you're thinking, oh, that's a harsh... I told her. I said, on my notes, it says, my wife is a nutter. And I subtitled why she is a nutter. So last episode, my daughter had chickenpox.
Yeah.
My son turned 4.
He did?
The day after his birthday, he started to come out in some spots.
Oh.
And this was a
chicken pox party.
Oh, unintentionally. It turns out it was a chicken pox party. No, it wasn't. But he came out in spots literally the day after his party, and that would have been a day before the 2-week kind of time before her. Because they say it's 2 weeks, don't they?
No idea.
So they do. So yeah, he came out in spots, and I said that she had it quite bad. The spots were completely different to what I expected. He was ill.
Oh, really?
He was really poorly. He was so hot. Like, he was hot to touch, shivering, cold, saying that he was freezing. His spots weren't as bad as hers, but he had so many more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the parts of his skin where he didn't have spots, that went weird as well.
Wow.
Honestly, his face was poor boy. Such a poorly little lad. So yeah, he came down with it pretty hard. Why is my wife a nutter?
Yeah, why?
We had a couple of rough nights with him. He was up every hour one night. It was pretty bad, and he only wanted Leanne. So kind of
savage.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Oh, no, he's up again. You sort it out.
I went to his room. He was like, I want mummy.
And why should you secretly go, yes?
I said, I'll go get mummy, and just kind of lay with him. He went, go then. So I went and got her. Anyway, we had a couple of rough nights. She decided, well, I'm in with him, I will potty train our daughter.
What? Okay.
She thought, well, I'm in the house. I'm stuck in.
I'm starting to see reasoning.
Might as well potty train. I then go to work one morning, hear a bit of a noise in the bedroom. I walk into my daughter's bedroom. My wife's there, taking the sides off her cot. So what are you doing? Because let's get her in a bed. So we had chicken pox, we had potty training, and we had transitioning into a bed in the same 2-day
She's just
window.
thinking, let's just crack it all out.
I think that's what she was thinking.
Did it work?
It worked.
Did it?
She nailed
No
it.
way.
She nailed it. So
No way.
first night with Mila was a little bit like she was out and about and she was walking around and all that kind of stuff. But she has absolutely smashed it. Going to bed really easily.
Wow.
Potty's going really well. She's very proud of her yellow wheeze.
Nice.
She'll point to the point, Daddy, yeah, lella wee wee. Even when it's not yellow. Yellow, lella wheelie. Lella wee wee. So she's doing really well with the potty. And he's, coming out the other end of the chicken pox.
Mad.
So yeah.
And I have to say as well, the party that your wife threw for your son, Dinah 4.
Dinah 4, yep.
Insane.
Yeah, she did so well.
I don't understand how somebody with children and a job manages to do that level of organisation.
Well, this is the other thing. So she's a teacher, so she's 6 weeks.
Summer holiday, that's the secret.
Yeah. But I really feel for her because she's been stuck in the house for 2 weeks, back-to-back chicken pox.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So I'm like, oh, bless her. But no, the party was brilliant. She did really well. I'll tell you the secret, though. The party was on the Saturday.
Yeah.
She starts getting stuff out on the Tuesday. And she just does little bits.
Yeah, but I could do that and it still wouldn't be the level. Everything was themed and labelled.
Yep.
Insane.
Yeah, she's brilliant.
Imagine tidy up as a nightmare.
It's not too bad. Just lob it all in the bin. So yeah, that was a bit of a. I was thinking, what are you doing? And I didn't say that because she had a few rough nights, so I'll just leave her to it.
I mean, fair play though.
But yeah, it's one of those because our daughter sleeps so well, and I've said this before. If she wakes up, it's once, very rare. Because we had it so good with her at bedtime and through the night, I was really reluctant to move her into the bed.
Got you. Yeah.
I knew we needed to do it, and I knew that it's naturally going to come. But I thought we've got it so good. Why? Why change?
Why change it?
And it's one of those things where you think,
she's 8 in a cot.
yeah, it's one of those where you think she's in that stage of development, and it's just my selfishness.
Yeah.
If we didn't do it,
Not want to rock the boat.
yeah, don't want to rock the cot.
Oh yeah, the cot.
So, but yeah, I think it was literally one night where it was quite tricky, but the rest was easy, and it's absolutely lovely in the morning when she just walks in. So our son's gotten really good with his grow clock.
Nice.
So he goes in when it's yellow. He goes into Mila's room, wakes her up, and then they both walk into our room
that's very
together
sweet.
with a book and a teddy. Just
That's
appear
very
together.
sweet.
So yeah, that's what we've had going on.
So the grow clocks come back around.
Yeah, it works more often than not now.
Oh mate. Well, to continue the theme of potties and toilets.
Oh yeah,
So we've moved house.
you have, and it is lovely, by the way.
Oh, it's a nice house. New. If you're watching on video, this is a little new garage. I was very disappointed that we didn't have brick.
Breeze block.
There was genuinely a moment because I didn't check the garage before we bought the house.
Yeah, that was a bad move. I don't know. Well, I say bad move. That wouldn't sit well with me. Not looking at one of the rooms.
To be honest, I was just so tired. We were looking at so many houses, and I think it was a moment where on the podcast I was so exhausted. I couldn't remember if I'd seen the garage or not. We came to view this house, and I was just like a zombie. It's like as long
It
as
could have been anything in here.
it could have been anything.
It turns out it's great.
But it's nice, and yeah, I'm glad. But yeah, so we've moved house, and we knew that it would affect my daughter. So she's 3. We knew that it would affect Noah, but not really sure we got comprehended that it might affect her in this way. So she's been great with like potty, and she's been going to bed without nappies and been completely fine. She's getting up using the toilet. Amazing. Since we moved here, it's like recessed. She's been wetting her bed. She's been coming into my bed and wetting my bed to the point where once I woke up with, and I thought I just sweated.
I thought you were going to say,
Thought I'd wet myself.
I've read that moving house can lead to some wet bed, but didn't expect it on me.
No, I was feeling like pretty run down the day before, so I woke up and just assumed that I'd sweated through all the.
Can you imagine it? Oh no!
And it was like damp, and I was like, but it was like over me, so I was really confused. So what had happened is Noah must have like climbed over, weed, and then went back.
Just squatted on you.
Yeah. So, yeah, that seems to, and like she's having tantrums, like she's really out of sorts. Only like the weirdest of moments where this has never happened before. And it's like, we've kind of put it down to the house move because she doesn't usually do this.
Yeah.
But I think you might have heard it earlier on the podcast, just tantruming at any sort of change of plan or routine. But she loves the house. She loves a new bedroom. But just it's taken a while for her just to get into those rhythms. And so we've temporarily gone back to the pull-up nappies, just because it was like a week in a row. Every night she'd wet the bed. And that's really unlike her. In the day, she's fine. She started using normal toilets now.
Yep.
Like, I think yesterday, I came back in and all I could hear was just like all this laughing. My wife and Noah were both in hysterics because Noah jumped on the toilet, just did a business, flushed the toilet, and then fell in. I just thought it was really funny, and they were both just laughing. But so she can do that in the daytime, but at night time it's just, I'm assuming it's once she settles and she's changing nursery as well. So
Yeah, a lot of change.
is she going from nursery? I think it's a nursery, but we've called it preschool.
Yep.
I'm assuming they're the same thing.
Last year before school's preschool, isn't it?
Yeah, preschool.
It's all preschool. But
So there's
preschool.
a lot of change going on, and the only thing that it's affecting is tantrums and wetting the bed.
Yeah. Wow. And so how are you dealing with it? Like, what's your... I know you've like gone back to nappies, but like with the tantrums and stuff, are you finding your patience is thin, or have you got a lot of patience because you've moved house and you've got the benefit of the doubt?
In the moving of the house, my job has been very practical with the house, sorting the bits out that we need sorting.
Get the garage ready for the pod.
It was high on the list. So for about a week, genuinely, like the childcare balance has been skewed. Emma's been putting a lot more of the childcare, and so my patience is like, I've got loads of patience. Like, it's great. Emma's definitely like wearing thin, but the plan is just to wait it out, not change anything, just like try and get back into routine. Just hope it all goes back to normal.
Yeah. Just hope it reverts.
Yeah, I mean, some could say like we're just sticking our heads in the sand, but I like to call it patience.
I mean, depends how you frame it.
Yeah.
But no, it's stressful. It's stressful moving house. They say, like, statistically, is one of the...
Stressful. I hate it. Oh man. I mean, I like being in my house now. I hate moving.
Yeah.
I hate packing. I hate unpacking. I hate putting stuff together.
And it was pretty last minute that you got the keys. Like, I think we recorded the last episode on a Monday. You text me on the Tuesday saying we've got the keys. We move Friday.
Yeah.
And then it was like, right, let's have a little week off from the pod. Let you sort your life out, literally.
Yeah.
And then crack back in with season 3.
So we like, if anyone's moved house, like in the UK, it takes a long time. Like, it takes months for everything to come through.
It takes the mick.
And like, we hadn't really heard much from our solicitors in terms of like things progressing, and they were waiting on us for something. And so we just sent back some forms, assumed it would be like another couple weeks. It was literally the next few days. It was like, okay, we're moving. Like, you get the keys on Friday.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
From nothing to everything.
Yeah. And it's a bit hectic, and like, hence as well why that's probably impacted Noah as well.
Yeah.
But it's so much so that Friday came and we hadn't packed a single box.
Doesn't surprise me.
What are you trying to say?
Well, especially because, you know, listeners won't know this, but no one was moving into your old house.
Yeah.
So there's kind of no pressure to get everything out.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're taking it more leisurely, and so we've just brought the stuff that we absolutely need.
Because when we moved last year, the people moving in were there.
Same day.
We were moving out.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds stressful.
And we had to leave something in the garden and just be like, I'll come back for this later on. So they're moving into their new house. They are now in their house. And
Yeah.
I'm there like, just picking up my table. I hope you're very happy here, and all this kind of stuff. And they're just like, get gone, mate.
So my brother, when he moved out of his old house, they left their house, they handed over the keys, and then it was like 6 hours until they got the keys to the next house.
Just chilling.
And so their moving van was just driving around. That sounds more stressful. However, you do get it all done in a day. Whereas we've been moving house for like a full week, constantly moving stuff. And I bought a skip, just throwing so much stuff away.
Just to live in.
Live in the skip.
Before we got the keys.
But yeah.
I'd be really interested, and I've got this on like one of my list of people to speak to. People that have moved house with their kids that are at school. And they've had to move school. I know, like you said, nursery, but like a kid that's maybe really settled into their friendship groups, and they're moving like somewhere completely new, and like, you know, no one will forget nursery soon enough. But like someone that is, you know, got those kids and they've moved them at that age, I'd be really interested to hear the kind of.
It's always a hard decision, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of hear the parents' perspective on that, and moving their family when their family's settled.
Yeah. I think one of the things I've learned, this is not a top tool, this is just, I've learned by the sheer amount of stuff that my daughter has, a 3-year-old, she's spoilt.
Yeah. Like toys and stuff.
Completely spoilt. Like, so much stuff. Where to the point when we're moving into the house, we're going, where's no, we have to figure out where all toys go. No, it's...
Get yourself to IKEA on the 10th of November.
Get those boxes.
Have a look at some calyxes.
But it's one of those things that before you have kids, you're like, I'm not going to spoil my kids. That they're going to... No,
Yeah.
I'm a sap.
I'm a sap. For what it's worth, mate, I'm a sap as well. Just a couple of saps. That could be our new tagline for the pod.
So before we move in house, my wife went to me like, oh, have you, she was like, randomly, one of those conversations before bed, you know, when you're about to go to sleep and then for some reason they decide now was the time to have a really deep philosophical conversation.
Every flipping day.
Yeah. So it's one of those moments where she just turns to me, she goes, have you done any research into what we need to do to help transition Noah into a new house? And I was like, no, just move her stuff.
Yeah.
Tell her we're going. I just thought, it's like a cat. You put butter on her feet and let her lick the scent off.
Has she mentioned the old house?
Yeah, she'll talk about it, but she prefers the new house.
Because Luca asked to go home.
Oh,
When we were in our new house, he said, "Oh, can we go home now?"
that was the dreaded like fear, but she prefers this one.
Yeah, but yeah, he soon got around to it. Do you know what I mean?
Figures out where stuff is.
There's Buzz Lightyear on the wall. There you go. And we do
He's
say
happy.
like, yeah, we've got your Buzz Lightyear posters. Like it's exclusive to the new house. Like that has to be in this room. It can't change. Oh, it's, yeah, stressful time, but you're in.
In, that's it.
And here we are.
Here we are.
So I've got a question for you. A few things to pick up from previous episodes. Did you appeal your speeding ticket that you got?
I did.
How does that go?
I haven't heard back.
You've not heard back?
They are overwhelmed. I'm guessing they're just busy like every other government body. Backlog of COVID.
Yeah.
So I'll let you know when I hear something.
Because I think this is a really good measure of the time versus money debate that we had.
Oh, yeah.
So a speed awareness course.
Yeah.
How long does it last? 3 hours?
It's like all day. It's an all day thing, isn't it?
All day?
Like 4, yeah, it's a good chunk of the day.
I think I remember mine being about an afternoon, 3-4 hours.
Okay.
I've only ever done it once.
Did you go in person?
No.
Did it on Zoom?
I did it on Teams when we had that 45-degree day last year.
Oh.
And there was, I'm not joking, there was a girl just in a bikini in a garden.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, this is really inappropriate for like an official punishment.
What was your what did you call them, the people in charge? Like adjudicator?
The
prison guard?
tutor?
The tutor?
Teacher?
Was yours really strict?
No, he was a lovely man.
Oh, I see. I on my one, he was really strict. And there was one guy who looked distracted. He kept stopping everything going, we're just going to wait. for you to tune back in?
No, he'd kind of aim questions at you. So go like, what do you think the speed limit would be here, Jordan? Like to make sure.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, however fast she goes.
I did learn, though.
I didn't say that.
I learned something on the speed awareness course, that on a road, if there's no, you can't see the speed limit. If there's street lamps, 30 miles an hour.
I learned that as well.
Never knew that.
My dad used to tell me that, and I just thought it was like an old person.
Yeah, no, like
Not that he's old,
I
but
didn't realise that was actually a thing.
yeah. 30 is the default.
But I would quite happily do a speed awareness. No, actually, would I? I'd
that's-
rather
that's-
just pay and not do
That's
it.
the question. What is more annoying about doing a speed awareness course for you? Is it the £100 or is it the 4 hours?
4 hours.
Really, see, for me,
100%.
it's the £100 for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm glad to pay the money so I don't get points.
So, yeah, I'd sit there for. I'd take my punishment. Well, they call it rehabilitation or whatever. It's education.
Rehab. Just go to 4 hours of rehab. Oh, what's wrong? 35 on a 30.
Oh, mate. Yeah, I told a dad joke the other day. A fully fledged. Like we love a dad joke. I was talking to someone at work. She goes, "Oh, I spent a little bit of time. I think it was in India. She went traveling around India a few years back." I said, "Oh, how long were you there for?" She went, 3 months cycling around India. I said, "That's brilliant." I said, "I lived in Turkey for a little bit." She went, "Did you? How long for?" I went, 10 days. I said, she went, "That's a holiday." I said, "Yeah, I stayed in a hotel, but I lived there for 10 days." And it was one of those ones where I thought, "You're a dad." I love an intentional bad joke, but I just thought, even as it came out my mouth, I thought, "You're an idiot."
How did you take it as a joke?
Same way you did.
Just
Just kind of like, "You're an idiot." Stop talking to me.
yeah, but I would pay every time.
See, it's the money annoyed me more than the time.
Yeah, but
If it was free, if they said, "Look, it's a free course and it's 2 days," I'd do the 2 days.
But that's not really punishment, is it? Well, it is. It's not a double-thronged punishment.
No, double jeopardy.
Double jeopardy. You know, Apple CarPlay, where you have to plug in your phone.
Yep.
Genuinely, that 30 seconds of plugging my phone in, because my phone's a bit dodgy, the cable's a bit dodgy, it takes a good few attempts for it to recognise it. I bought a little adapter that makes it wireless.
See, that's cool though.
So now I get in the car and it's automatically on.
That's cool.
Time over money for 30 seconds.
How much was the adapter?
£22
See, I wouldn't pay that.
from China.
I'd faff with the the cable.
See, that really, like, £22 for me seems like a reasonable cost to save you 2 minutes every journey.
Yeah, I'd be faffing.
Quite happy to take it.
Yeah, or I'd find the little way of doing it, and then bang. And we've also had some comments about strange interactions with strangers. So cast your mind back to the old lady who stuck a baby's fist in her mouth in John Lewis.
Yeah.
We posted that, and we've had a few comments come in. So this one's come from Hannah. It says, "Me and my friend have both had babies the exact same..." Sorry, I shall go again. "Me and my friend have both had the exact same thing while wearing our babies in carriers. In different years, I should say. Where an older man has looked at us and said something along the lines of, 'Wishing I could trade places with the baby.'"
Oh.
She's put, so ew.
Oh.
That, yeah. I can imagine that in their head, they think, this is really funny. Like me with I lived in Turkey.
Yeah.
But not... That's pervy, man. That's just weird.
That's just impractical.
Yeah.
The baby carrier, we won't fit.
I mean, that's not my first thought. But who thinks, "Oh, do you know what? Let's make a little
Oh, that's made me feel a bit weird.
pervy joke." Oh,
I don't like. Oh, we've got another one.
got another one.
This is from Amber. It says, "Don't know if I can top it, but a lady passed us in Tesco. Shout out Tesco. Other shops are available. When Thea was... Thea? Apologies there. When Thea was a newborn, and I heard her say to her husband, 'Oh, look, there's a brand new baby. Fresh out the... Fresh out the packet.' Just to be clear, Tesco does not sell babies."
I replied to this and said, that makes you the packet.
How does that make you feel? Oh, that's quite a good analogy.
Fresh out the packet. Dear me. That's a bad one. Funny though.
That's funny.
That is funny.
I wouldn't say that's strange. That's comical.
It's not pervy, at least.
Yeah.
And this one tickled me. This was from Mamma Miamus. Mamma Miamus. Mamma Miamus. I think that's what it is. Mamma Miamus. That's what I'm going to go for.
Mamma Miamus.
She put, I swear my fist would be in her mouth. So fast. Little jab to the mouth. So yeah, thank you for those comments. And if you do want to leave us a comment, like we said at the top of the episode, you can do at Parenting Tools Pod.
I have a question.
Go on.
White noise. Why is it called white noise?
I don't have an answer.
Because we've now migrated.
Have you? To what?
Again, I don't know why it's called this. Brown noise.
Oh, so I thought you were going to say pink noise, because I've heard of pink noise.
Pink noise is a thing. Bit harsher than the white noise. Brown noise is a softer
than white, or softer
a
than
lower
pink.
a lower range. I could be making all this up, and brown noise just makes me like, ugh.
We should do our own.
Our own noise.
Our own.
What would you call it? Purple noise?
On brand orange.
Orange noise.
Yeah.
Is that a thing already?
No. Well, it might be. And we'll do orange noise of me and you just going, and it gets babies to sleep.
10-hour loop.
Yeah. Think of the money we can make. And after a little bit,
Little harmony. Who comes up with these names though? This is a genuine question.
I don't flipping know.
I was thinking about at 3 o'clock in the morning the other week.
Really?
Yeah.
After you'd wet yourself.
After I'd wet myself, woken up covered in a human's urine.
After yellow noise. Lello wee wee. No, so what's the difference then? You've gone for brown noise.
Yeah, we've moved over.
Why?
White noise, get out of the way. Overhyped.
What's the benefits?
It sends me to sleep.
For you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, legit. So I think this is because we used white noise so much for my daughter that me and my wife realised that whenever we put her to sleep, we would fall asleep in her room, and the white noise just caught on. And so now we started using white noise for a while, and then we discovered brown noise, and it's just like a lower range.
But it's the same thing, like
Just but lower. Yeah.
It's a good quiz.
But yeah, so we actually use it now.
In your own... So does Noah use anything?
She uses white noise still. She's not as eloquent.
Nah, she's not graduated yet.
Yeah.
She's not as versed. She needs to cut her teeth first.
But that's just mainly so she doesn't wake up from us watching TV.
Yeah. We never did it.
Oh, I would vote that way.
I think partly because we didn't know it was a thing, but also when people started to suggest it, I think like if you're out and you don't have it,
Yeah.
and I know it's on your phone now, or you can get Alexa to do it or whatever, but I just thought if you've not got it, then
I think we started using it as like a necessity. Like we didn't use it from the beginning, but we used it as like a result to a problem, and then just kept it.
It's one of those ones where you see people on Instagram just arguing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it a controversial topic?
Well, everything's a controversial topic, isn't it? But like, yeah, there's this trend at the minute going around where, like women are filming themselves picking up their baby and spinning them around, and you can see the baby's face, and like the babies are like absolutely beaming, and like it's so wholesome. It's so lovely to see all these like mums and babies like just having a lovely time. Saw a comment like, "So you left her in a room by herself just for some likes?" Because at the start of the video, they walk into the room, the baby's on their own, and they pick them up. I'm like, how have you twisted that to be a bad thing?
But left them there for 45 minutes.
No, it's just a bit like, how can you twist everything? Everything's a controversial topic. It feels like at the minute.
Yeah.
in the world in which we live.
Well, for the white noise suckers, you're in the wrong.
But no, we never did it. But I know like adults that say like, oh, in summer last year, started sleeping with a fan.
Yeah.
And now we still sleep with the fan, even though it's colder.
Oh, I love a fan. I love being cold.
Yeah, I do. I like it. But not the noise. I just like the not sweating.
Yeah, I suppose so.
So there you go.
It's really bizarre, isn't it?
White noise, let us know. Have you are you at level 1? Or are you at level 2 brown noise?
Brown noise. I wonder if there is a third level.
The brown note is a thing, isn't it?
The brown note? What's that?
It's when I think it was like tested in the war or something.
Does it make people poo?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Well, the brown note. Where you like a note is so low, it gets to the point where it starts to like disturb your bowels.
Wow.
And they call it the brown
That
note.
would be amazing if you've got a child that hasn't pooed in like 10 days.
Maybe that's what we do.
We could have done
We
with
offer a service.
Yeah. It's on iTunes. And it costs you 79p. Guaranteed poo.
All the reviews are just absolute cack. Brilliant review.
Have I told you what we had to do to make Noah poo in the early
The
days?
thermometer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had it.
Oh.
Yeah,
You had it?
I had the thermometer, yeah.
Recently?
Yeah, well, last week.
Bad curry.
Yeah, I had it. My dad loves to tell everybody.
Yeah.
I think Leanne, when we first started going out,
It's the first thing.
she heard it so many times. Let me tell you what we had to do to make him poo. She's going, oh, go on. And I'm just there going, here we go.
Could have done with that brown note.
Yeah. Yeah, the brown note. I'm going to Google it to make sure it's a real thing.
I don't know if it is.
I got it from somewhere.
We've
As always.
We've started. We've been trying for a while with like reading and like phonetics. And we've got these little books which like they're really like clunky to read, but it's all about like the same words and like cup and it's and like really easy words to like spell out. And last night we were reading the book together, and it was just that classic moment where she's going right, pa. What does that say? Curtains.
Yeah.
So try it again. And that more was good. Ka up. And Noah's going ka up. Curtains.
Yeah, I've had that a few times. I can't remember what it was. It was like per-a-n. Foot. Yeah. But do you remember when we spoke to Jen Alford?
Yeah.
And she said, don't worry if your child can't blend. I was thinking, what does that mean? I was thinking colours.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you know that red and white makes pink, I think.
I'm assuming so.
I'm going for it.
Yeah.
I'll rephrase with confidence. Red and white makes pink. Pink noise. But that's not what it is. Blending is the cut up.
That's from the word letters.
Blending it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what that means.
But it's really difficult because I don't know sometimes when she's just reading things from memory.
Yeah.
So like I'll go to a page in most of her books and like I'll start it and she'll just reel off the whole rest of it by memory. It's like, I understand that, that's great, but we need to learn to read. It's like ka-a-pa. Cot. It's like, close.
Begins with C.
Yeah.
You're halfway there. Yeah, bless him. It's one of those ones, isn't it? It will come.
I don't have the patience for it. I could be honest. This
It's a 3-letter word.
No, and this sounds really bad. It's more like she'll learn.
And they will.
At some point, she'll learn.
They'll get there. There's no pressure.
Like we're halfway through the book, and I'm like, come on. We've been here for half an hour now.
Half an hour. Oh man, that's
Sounds
funny.
so bad.
How was you've like kind of mentioned it before, going from 1 to 2. How is that conversation going?
So the great debates, and like, so my daughter is 3 now.
Yeah.
The conversation at the moment is if we go for like the best time would have been, coming back to your old quote, would have been last year or something, the closer in age.
Is that my quote?
Well, you said like the second best time is now.
Oh yeah, the
Well, the second time would have been
tree.
the day after. But
the day after. I don't think it would have.
But it's the point where my daughter is really independent. Like, she's not going to the shop by herself, but as much as a 3-year-old can be, like it's fairly easy. Like she's independent. She likes to do stuff by herself. We're getting more sleep. Just the idea of going back to sleepless nights, but then also having another child to juggle, is petrifying.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but at some point we want to give like Noah a sibling.
Yeah.
But I don't want to not sleep. But I want to give Noah a sibling more than not sleeping.
Yeah.
And it's just the debate. And the worst thing is, I would recommend to not do this if you want to. I went on Reddit and found one of the posts, and like just scrolling through the comments of like, there's a whole bunch of people that just had one child and like it's the best thing I ever done. Don't know how people can imagine having other children. And then there's others like, I've got 10 children. I can't imagine not having one. And like there's just a massive debate between people and their experiences. And I read that post for like half an hour. Not for my own self. It was just entertaining.
Yeah.
But it did not help in any way.
No.
So I think in theory, I would love another child. In theory.
Yeah. It's I remember very first pod, you said, how is it?
Yeah.
And I said physical and psychological pain. Now, a year down the line,
Yeah.
that's not how I feel anymore. Like it took me a little bit of time to get used to it.
And I think that's I have the perspective of other people of going, actually, the first year or the first like while is going to be rough. Like it's a newborn stage. Of course it's going to be rough. And if you've got a child as well.
Yep.
But then obviously the benefits are down the road.
Yeah.
You've got 2 chances at having a Premier League player.
But yeah, it wasn't so much the second child, it was having 2.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So it wasn't like
juggling.
I struggled to bond with her or anything like that. It was kind of, I was just tired. I was so shattered having the 2 of them. And you know, it's natural. And, you know, that comes with having babies. No matter how many you have, you're going to be tired.
Yeah.
It just took me a little bit of a while to settle into having 2 than it did 1. And it was never an issue of her. It was an issue of the both of them together and learning to adapt to that new normal, which is a phrase that's come into the fore, hasn't it? But that's a really good way of describing it. It is a new normal for you. And it just took a bit of time to settle in. But now it's like, it's brilliant. And you can just leave, they're at the age now where you can leave them for a little bit.
Just a few weeks.
Yeah, leave them for a couple of weeks. Go move to Turkey for 10 days. And you can leave them for a little bit and you can crack on and do those, you know, little jobs that you need to do.
Yeah.
So it changes. And for me, it was probably rough. I'd say it was rough looking back. But, you know, now that feels like a long time ago and it feels like it was quite quick.
Would you consider more?
I was talking about this with someone today.
Really?
A friend of mine is having 3, just told us they're having their 3rd.
Wow.
And we're kind of at very similar stages with our kids.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 weeks between our oldest, there's a couple of months between our second, and they're just having their 3rd. And I just don't know if I could do it. Their second child is silent and doesn't move. And they say, at home she's a bit different. But we've got 2 very active children, and it just worries me being outnumbered. If I had one that just stayed still, I'd probably be a little bit more.
You're rolling the dice.
Yeah,
you could, but you also might get one that's worse.
Exactly.
Just loves to sprint.
Exactly. And there's a whole thing of and this is probably a really serious thing to say. And if you've got 3 kids, please tell me what it's like. Would I resent not having one? Probably not, because I love my 2 children that I have. Like, to me, they're everything. But then if I had another one and the dynamic shifts so negatively to the point where I thought, I wish we hadn't, I don't think I could live with that as comfortably as I could live with, should we have had another one? Maybe not. I'd rather resent the child we didn't have than the child that we did have.
Oh, yeah. That's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't met many people that resent their children.
Yeah, and resent's probably not the right word. That's why I
But
said
having those negative feelings of, this was a bit hard.
Yeah, kind of like we've got everything to a really good place now. Like if you followed this pod for a long time, you know the grow clock didn't go well for us. And now it is.
Everything's going well.
And and like we've just got over chicken pox, which, you know, everyone goes through. It's, you know, a little bit challenging, but it's been a bump in the road. To then like add another one in and potentially blow everything up again. I don't know. I just think I don't really want to have those thoughts of shouldn't have done this.
Yeah, the thing is, like, life and in general with kids, things change so quickly though as well.
Exactly.
It's like in 2 weeks' time, you could be like, the crow clock could be out the window again, and everything could be like full circle. And I think that's just the nature of like life in general. But what will you regret the least?
Yeah, and it's one of the, like I said, a year ago, my answer was physical and psychological pain, which was a joke.
Yeah.
I love but it's still there. Like it was still
Hard work.
really hard.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have 3 and it's hard. And then, you know, a year down the line, maybe it's easy. And then you get to them being, you know, going to school and things change again. And you get to being teenagers. And I just think, you know, do I want to add even more of that into the mix?
And there are those people that naturally can have like 10 children and take it in their stride.
Yeah.
Like everything's perfect. 10 kids. It's easy. I don't think I'm one of those people.
No. Not this day and age either. Especially not...
Literally need a minibus.
Not where we live. Not in the current economic climate. That's another thing. Finance.
It's a huge thing. It's serious.
When we posted the video about, you know, nursery fees, someone commented saying, I've been priced out of having another child. It's like, that's really sad.
That's also a really interesting way of putting it.
Yeah. Yeah, really interesting way of putting it.
Wow.
But yeah, it's one of those ones that you've just got to balance it up.
I think I'm thankful that, like, so me and my wife are on the same page. Like, we're in the same headspace of it. And we are more than likely to want another child. But it's one of those things where I kind of go, I'm glad, again, that we just talk a lot.
Yeah.
And, like, we just get everything out in the open, so we figure it out. So we end up on the same page, where it would be a lot more difficult if we had opposing views. Because that would then add another layer of tension in of, I don't want them to be disappointed, but I also don't want to be disappointed myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably one of the things that I'm like, at least that's going well.
Yeah.
But I am really loving sleep.
Despite getting weed on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I'd take the wee. I'd take it for more sleep.
But a little baby falling asleep just on your chest.
I know.
I would love a baby. Just, you know, a newborn. If they stayed newborn, that'd be brilliant.
I would love to hear from the listeners of who has the most children.
That's such a good question. Who has the most kids out of our listeners? So my friend that's having their third, he's one of 10.
1 of 10?
Yeah, second to youngest. Yeah.
Wow.
And they've all turned out all right.
That's a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids. Yeah, 10.
That's a lot of potato waffles.
When we told Luca today, we said, I won't say her name because it's not public knowledge yet. I said, she's got a baby in her tummy. He went, oh, we're going to have one of those. I says, no, we're not. And he just went, but I want one.
You should buy one of those little alien eggs.
Yeah. There you go.
It's got them. You gotta look after that.
Yeah.
Look after it well enough, it'll be a baby.
What did we believe back in the day? That the gel alien would give birth. Oh my goodness me.
Oh, amazing. Season 3.
We're back.
We didn't really go anywhere, did we?
No.
Well, I did. I moved house.
Well, you literally went somewhere, yeah.
Yeah. Well, please, just another reminder. If you want to come to the IKEA live show, exclusive live show.
Exclusive. That sounds posh, doesn't it? Like, when you say the word exclusive.
I mean, it's not exclusive. It's free,
It's for, yeah.
but it's exclusive.
I mean, it's literally unexclusive.
But it's exclusive if you're not there.
If you want to come to the IKEA event, if you want to register for free tickets, please do at parentingtoolspod.co.uk/IKEA.
Amazing. Again, if you've got any messages, comments, questions, send them in at Parenting Tools Pod. I think we'll see you next week.
We will see you next week for a guest episode.
I was about to say, do we need to say that we've got a guest?
We have got a guest. Listen out. Come back. Find out who it is.